we say is going to be recorded. So, all right. So, what I gave you, I made out, and I fixed it, and I didn't make the new one called Rev A because I had not planned on giving this to you. I was just going to make new copies. But what happened was with the schedule here is that section 4-5 is really long, and this is what I did last spring, and we didn't have test 2 materials needed more time. In test 1, I had covered the first 2 pages or first page, depending on which one you print out, of section 4.1 notes in class. That's why it took me longer. It's a preliminary material that you're supposed to already know. So I'm going to skip that this time. So I'm going to start on page 3 of the 4.1 notes from D2L, or page 2 of the 4.1 notes from Shobi. All right. So while I'm going over this, you can sign into Shobi. You go to Shobi.com. Can everybody get into the computers? You go to Shobi.com and make a free account. And make sure, so if you already have a free account, you have your last semester, you already got it. So you're going to join this class, 25H4T. And then you're in my Shobi class. And then I have an assignment in there for you to I asked you a few questions. It says sign into something about Shobi, register for Shobi, and that's a 100-point classwork grade. So you, at some point before it's due, you can see all the due dates in Shobi. So I can show you Shobi, what Shobi looks like. So go ahead and right now, go ahead and get into Shobi. So this is what Shobi is, and you'll see 1720 A01, Tuesday, Thursday, spring 18. And if I click in there, I will see, okay, so this is register for Shobi, classwork grade, and registering for my math lab, I'm going to make that a 100-point classwork grade too. You got to get in there. You got to do it by Friday. You got to get into math lab. So registering for Shobi's in here, and now I can see, use your real name, and I can see it. You guys are good. You already registered for it. My Math Lab. Here's my Math Lab instructions right here. This is the course ID. It's Luenzic, and it may make a difference if you may need to use a small L. Luenzic 01355. And this is the instructions. There is no I opt-in for math classes this semester. You're using it very rarely. This is the instructions. Double click it. And I have a comment here. If you click on my picture, it shows up as use an outside email address. Do not use your D2L eLearn address when you register for my math lab. Now, if you were in my 1710 class last semester, you should not have to pay again. You should be able to click enroll in a new course and just type in Luenzic 01355. If that does not work, let me know in that show me assignment, and I will ask MathLab for some codes. So you guys that were in the fall and even spring. Now spring people, I don't think it's going to work, but if you had 1710 or in the spring, that's pretty reasonable. It may take you a while. So let me know in that assignment, and I'll ask for that number of codes. It's a 100-point classwork grade, but you got to do it by Friday. So if you, while I'm taking roll, if you can do that, that's fine. But that's, you want to get right into that. So, and Shelby is where the worksheets are, and the due dates are right there. And the schedule is already out of date, but okay. But I got a correct one up here that I printed out on my printer. Which I was going to copy. So this is the correct schedule, and it's posted online. But the reason I went ahead and handed this out was because this has my course ID and my Shelby account stuff on it. So we will have 3 or 4 tests. I have 4 tests down here, and it just depends on how the class goes. If you don't have a 4th test, we'll have it, I'll use the final exam 4th test questions to count that as a 4th test. So I have 4 tests down here. We should be able to do 4 tests. Come on in.
What class is this?
This is Math 1720, Pre-Calculus 2. Okay, no problem. This is the course calendar. The copier decided not to work this morning. So this is already outdated, but at least it has that you need to join Shelby. So if this is it's posted online with the correct stuff, but it has some information on it that you still may want to. I moved the tests up by a day, and some of these worksheets up by a day. But you need to go to Shelby.com once you log into your computer and sign into Shelby. And there's an assignment in there that's due by Friday, 100-point classwork grade, to answer those questions. And only I see those. Only I see your answers. But in Shelby, since I have the so I have registered for Shelby due Friday at 9 p.m. and registering for my math lab. They're both going to be 100-point classwork grades. I've never done that before. But I've had semesters where a month into the class, somebody's not in math lab. What? So maybe this will help. Okay. So this is the instructions to register for my math lab. And these are the worksheets that are due and when they're due. And they're and the test, I have student questions for test 1. If you have questions about the material or math lab, here somebody had a question about question 4 on section 4.2, and I took a picture of it and wrote out how to do it. But you can do that. And then I have all of the test material posted in here under Chapter 4, Test 1 material. And this is where I said, if you want room to write, print out the version of the notes that's in D2L under content. This version is crammed together. We're going to cover this 4.1 new notes. Has double space. It has 6 pages in D2L and 3 on here. And today, after I go over all this other stuff, we're going to start on at least. If it, I guess it's not going to come up. we're going to start on the notes, but we're not going to do the day one material. You should, this is our book for the class. The bookstore has it. They actually have, we're not doing the opt-in, I just told you guys that, but you can do the 14-day free access, or you can, if you don't have to buy a new code if you're already in 1710, it's the same book. All you guys do is register a new course. So if you're new to this college, then you're gonna be have to put that in. I didn't know this was written on. Oh, day one. Oh, it's written on. Okay. That's okay. But we're going to cover pages 2 and 3. But see, it's all crammed together. On D2L, the document's 6 pages. So we're covering pages, the 3rd through 6th pages. And I have the answers to this posted to the day one material, and I have it posted in D2L, and then yesterday I took a picture of it. It's right here. So read the book. It's very helpful. This is all from section 4.1, but we thought that you were supposed to already know, some of this material that's in those first. This is the day one material. So make sure you understand that. I think most of you will. So I don't collect the test 1 material here, but to make it disappear from the top of Shobi, I have it due like Friday after the test at 4 o'clock. So it will go down to the collected assignments. When an assignment becomes due in Shobi, it moves from assigned down to the bottom to collected. Well, I don't have any collected stuff yet, so. Hello. I haven't taken roll yet. Okay. This is Math 1720. I told the class to go ahead and start signing to Shobi. And I've recorded this at Shobi. I'm handing out an out-of-date copy of the calendar because the printer. Because I had copied it on Friday and then I changed it, so. And the printers were out, so. Both printers were out upstairs. All right. Okay, so let's go over our course policies and then we'll take roll. So, just quickly, these are all posted in D2L. Does everybody know how to get into D2L? Let me see. I might have people new to the school here. So, you go into a browser, you go to Northeast State, it's at elearn.northeaststate.edu, or you can find the link at the bottom of the Northeast State pages. Your password is going to be your birthday, month, day, year. And your user ID will be the first part of your Northeast State email address. If you don't know your email address, the first part of your email address, we can look it up once I get into D2L. So this is D2L. Okay, so when you go up here, your course, select a course. Your courses should show up, but you can search for 2018-10. And that brings up just this semester's courses, and then you can pin them up here in D2L and go to them easier than going down to my courses list. So this is 1720, and here it is, pre-calculus 2, and I even put the room number and everything. I put the times, and lets me edit all that. It's right there. That's your D2L course. I've got some announcements here, same things about Math Lab, course ID, and I'm telling you, new students, buy the book at the bookstore and register for my Math Lab online, the online homework quizzes. You have to get the access code or pay for it online. If you're returning students from fall or even spring of last year, try to enroll in a new course. If it doesn't work, send me an email. Use the 14-day temporary thing. Is this the wrong class?
I'm not sure. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is. It's okay. All right. So, any questions about that? Send me a message and show me if you're returning student and not being allowed to enroll in a new course. And I'll take that into consideration about Friday's date, but you can use should be able to use the 14-day free access. All right, let's take roll. I could have saw maybe if she was on the roll, but I'm going to pause this while I take roll. So the book is very, very good, and you should really read the material to be covered before class. Obviously, you didn't have time to do it today, but it's going to help you to do that. This is a much harder class than Math 1710. It's going to require a lot of memorization. If you've had trig before, that's going to help. But it requires a lot more work. So I had one person that was struggling, and then she started to actually read the book and do the there's extra examples in the book, and she was doing those, and she started to do well and ended up with an A. But it does take a lot more time. So this is the Northeast State Community College course syllabus for the whole course. It's got the catalog description, learning outcomes. Prerequisites, I checked everybody's. You have to have a grade of C or higher in Math 1710 or departmental approval. The textbook is Pre-Calculus Essentials 5th edition by Blitzer. You do need a graphing calculator. Oh, that's funny. It does say TI Inspire. Okay. Well, some people have those, but you may need to use graph paper, but you can print that from the internet. These symbolic calculators are not allowed on tests or quizzes. So basically, the information in this then tells you what we're going to cover. This is chapters 4 through 6. We don't cover all of chapter 6. It's got a lot of information in here, but that's all that I need to go over. Here's my instructor policies, and so I prefer that you email me through Desire to Learn, or through, you could even type a comment in Shobi and I'll get an email, or you can go to jgwenzik@northeaststate.edu and email me. These are my office hours, but they're also posted in D2L where it's more readable. So these are the resources, D2L, and these are all the things I use D2L for. I post your grades in D2L. I have prerequisite materials at the bottom, content, that's really prerequisite materials for 1710, but I just pulled them over. So if you still have trouble factoring and things like that, you can go to those. Yeah, I post my course syllabus, instructor policies, course schedule or calendar, announcements. Math Lab has a lot of stuff in it, but it does have the required homework and concept and vocabulary quizzes. It's got all these things. I've got the PowerPoint slides. They've got new PowerPoint slides that are accessible. So if you want to see those, go into Math Lab and click on, the Math Lab has resources or something that you can click on, and you can click on the PowerPoints. And you can see the new PowerPoints if you want. I posted the old ones from the last edition because those are the ones that I had ready. So, there's even online tutoring. Shobi. We use Shobi. I know a lot of people. It just takes a lot of practice. And so MathLab's not good enough. I'm not collecting your work for MathLab. It's just not good enough. The reason we use Shobi is it provides immediate feedback on your worksheets. And then I post the solutions after the due date there. You can write on the worksheets if you have an iPad, or you can take a picture of your work and post it. I do require you to post your work there. You can type a comment in the assignment to ask me a question. I don't see when you post something, but when you type a message in the comment block, it's in Shobi. So I'll go to Shobi. When you type something, say, when you type something right here where it says write a comment, I see it. And I get an email. I get an email to my Northeast State email address, and I can see that right away. Class discussion, on the other hand, class discussion's at the top. This is, everyone in the class can see anything that anyone posts here. So, you could even, if you're struggling with the problem, you could post a comment here to ask somebody else in the class for help. And I might see it and respond, but I might not get to it, and somebody else might be able to help you a little bit. I don't want you to give answers, but I've had people in stats, they started to do that. They posted, oh, you forgot to do this, and somebody else figured it out, and I was just gone for the weekend and I couldn't help them. So, but this is discussion, and I'll put announcements in here. I think I have an announcements folder, but I think I'm just going to put them here. I don't know, but I put the new. Oh, let's see, Sunday at 8:32. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay. I thought I was going to click on it to get bigger. But yeah, this is the correct semester schedule. So it's also posted there, the semester schedule. So back to Shobi. So that's why I use Shobi. It's got, and then the My Math Lab student questions folders for each test provided. So if you have a question on a worksheet that's posted in Shobi, you should type that right into the assignment under the comment and ask me that question. But only I can see it. If I don't get back to you soon enough, you might want to put it in class discussion, see if anybody else can help you in the class. And if you set it up right, Shobi will send you an email to your email address anytime I type something in there. So it's a very good communication skill. It provides immediate feedback. If I collect something the class period before a test, I can grade it and you can look at it before the test, not walk in and have me hand the worksheet back 2 seconds before the test. That doesn't work too well. So that's Shobi. That's why I use it. Nearpod, depending on how many snow days we have, I may use Nearpod for I may assign some self-paced for you to do at home to prepare for the lectures. I haven't got any of those ready, so and with Nearpod, you go to nearpod.com, and I provide the join codes as you go. You don't have to make an account. That's how Nearpod is. Basically, Nearpod is basically PowerPoints on steroids. It's got activities in there and little quizzes to help you try to understand it better. And then I even put in the 3D pictures that you can just take break. Those are all popular there. Learning Center. The Learning Center has some very good tutors this semester. They usually do. Check their schedule, call them, or look online for their schedule. If you are struggling with this class, don't wait till the first test to get help. You can go over to the Learning Center in the library, L103, and you can work on your math lab and raise your hand when you have a question on it. And because I can't get back to you immediately like that when you send me a picture, it takes at least a day, or depends on how many classes I have. If you qualify for TRIO Student Support Services, they're right across the hall over there. You can see if you qualify. It's basically for first-generation college students. Centers for Disabilities, that's right across the hall here. If anybody has accommodations with them that you should speak to me in private and give me your letter for your accommodations. Evaluation. So you need to get at least a final grade of a C in Math 1720 or have a Math ACT score of at least 25 before you can take Calculus 1. So these are the grades are a weighted average, and these are the weights. They're the same as 1710, 50% test, 15% math lab, and that's the quizzes. And the quizzes this time are just the concept and vocabulary quizzes. And the homework. Classwork is all kinds of stuff. Final exam is comprehensive, 25% of your grade. Classwork is 10%. And here's the grading scale. Basically a 10-point scale, except below 65%. From 65 to 69 is a D, and below 65 is an F. So, yeah, that's our math grading scale. So, all right, you have to show your major steps. You should make your graphs on graph paper, clearly labeled. Work together, you can work together on assignments and make sure all students understand the problems. But if we do have any take-home tests, I don't have any on the schedule right now, you're not allowed to work on take-home tests together. And tests in the final exam, information about that, 3 or 4 tests. I'm going to replace one lowest test with the final exam grade if it's higher. If the final exam grade is higher. But if you miss a test for any reason except inclement weather, okay? Our inclement weather policy says if you miss for so you're going to get a 0 for that test. If you know ahead of time that you will miss a test, then you can take it early and not be penalized. So I'll put it in the testing center early for you. There may be exceptions to that, very, very extenuating circumstances, but so in the final exam is comprehensive and 2-hour time limit. And so when I do give you tests in this class, unlike Math 1710, every test in this class and the final exam has a portion that's no calculator, no unit circle. So pretty much every test has a no calculator, no unit circle section, and then a calculator unit circle section, and or formula sheet. So that's different. You've got a lot of things you need to memorize in this class. The My Math Lab homework and quizzes are required. And it's the same thing. The password is late. I meant to highlight that, or bold it, but LATE. If you do your homework late, it's 20% off, and it's LATE. You want to get it done. You really want to get your math lab. Keep up with it. Get your math lab done before each test. That's the due dates. The due dates are on the test dates. There's 18 homework assignments, because that's the number of sections we have basically, and 18 concept and vocabulary quizzes. And the concept and vocabulary quizzes can be completed late for a 10% off penalty, and if there's no password. It'll just ask if you want to do it late and probably tell you there's a penalty. I do take your highest score on the quiz. So if you get 100 the first time you take the quiz, and then later in the semester want to review it and take it again, I'm still going to count that 100. So, and you have to finish all your work by the start of the final exam. So here's all the classwork. I'm going to drop your 2 lowest 100-point classwork grades. And then we have the thing about cheating, which has happened to me before, so do not cheat. Do not have your phones out during the test or final. You have to have your 83, 84 required, and I guess TI Inspire, I've got to say this is okay. It said on the main syllabus that you could use the TI Inspire 84 or CX. Okay? So the main syllabus says that. So, but the rest of them are not. In attendance, you need to come to class. You definitely, I do record it, but you do need to come to class. And my due dates don't change if you're absent, because most things are in Shobi. Not everything's in Shobi. Electronic device required, well, you've got a computer in front of you, so you can use that one instead of bringing some separate thing if you want. And you do need to use a computer or iPad at home. You're not automatically dropped. Tips for success. Just coming to class won't be enough. You need to do your homework every night. Keep a notebook. And when you do your math lab, even though I don't collect the work, you should keep it in a spiral or somewhere neat. Any questions about the syllabus? And it's all posted online. All right, so we've got a lot of work to do, and look at the time. Okay, we got about 35 minutes. It doesn't mean I'm going to rush through the material, though. So here's the material. So if you need to print out the 4-1 notes, then if you want the version that's longer, print out pages 3 through 6 from D2L. It's going to be 4 pages. You can print out the whole thing, but we're not going to cover the preliminary material. Unless you should come with questions about the preliminary material. If you have any questions on it next time. So, these are the notes from D2L. The first 2 pages are preliminary materials you should already know or review and learn. Look at the book. The book is excellent. And I have the answers to that posted. In fact, I have the filled-in notes, I think, for all of 4-1 posted already. I'm going to usually post those after I lecture, but you can let me know if you prefer to have them before. I think they're out there. You could also print those. Just if you want to take your own notes on top of mine. 4-1, okay. So this is trigonometry. So there's also, I posted these in Shobi. So if you go to your test 1 material, this will probably help you too. And I'll probably bring this up, download this too. 4.1 PowerPoint. Let me download that. So you might want to have that PowerPoint up. It's going to help you visually with this stuff. See, it's going to be hard for me to display both, but I might just go back and forth. Got a calculator up, okay. Anybody else need to print those out? Which version is printed? You only need pages 3 through 6. And since DQL is a Word document, you might want to type your name on it. I think it's a Word document, so you can type your name in it, but Shobi is all PDF. How you doing?
Good. You ordered a break?
Good.
Definitely not.
It went quick though.
It did. I didn't see that.
I want it turned in. Yes. So, yeah, you can either take a picture of it. Shobi lets you. You go to Shobi. I'm in Shobi. So I do want you to either print out your work and do it and then take a picture of it, put it in Shobi, or write on it in Shobi, or you can write on separate paper neatly and not even print it out if you want. So how do you do that? Well, you hit this plus sign in Shobi and it lets you add a file from a computer. Please change your file to a PDF or the pictures work. The pictures allow me to write on. And then I can write directly on your worksheet or your work and check off what's right. So you can add from computer. If you have a file up, say I have so say you're turning into a penguin. Okay, what happened here? That didn't work the way I thought it would. Okay. Penguin. Okay. So I'm showing you how you could add this penguin picture to your assignment. You just pull it over and hit post. And now you guys have a picture of penguins to enjoy. So I can't write on Word documents, so please change those to PDFs. But if you, most of the time I can write on pictures. I'll let you know if I cannot read your
Handwriting.
handwriting. You know what? I probably should have you guys take a picture of yourselves and post it. That'll help me with your names. Well, I know a lot of your names. Right in here, you can take a picture of yourself and post it in here. Oh, I already have. Oh, if you put your picture and show me, then it'll help me with your name. But since I had most of you last semester, I know a lot of your names. It's kind of nice. So, but that's optional. So we'll want to print this stuff out before class in the future. So it doesn't take all this time. But you can see we could have 10 minutes of printing. Okay, so I have a picture of this. Okay, so does everybody have the notes printed out? They wanted them? Maybe some people are still working on it. So these are your first few fill-ins. Here's the picture. So an angle is formed by two rays. So here's the ray. This is a ray. It has an arrow on one end. This is the second ray. An angle is formed by two rays that have a common endpoint. One ray is called the initial side, and the other is called the terminal side. So that's, I don't know that I even have to write that down for you. The fill-ins are highlighted, right? Did you print it out? Everybody that wanted it, okay? All right, so we got two rays. A ray is a line segment with an arrow on one end. Okay? And then it's very important that you understand what standard position is. So an angle is in standard position when its initial side lies along the positive x-axis. So here's an angle that's in standard position, theta. You need to know Greek too. Here's an angle that also is in standard position because its initial side is along the positive x-axis. So those are the fill-ins for the rest. You've got standard origin, the vertex of the angle, this is called the vertex, is at the origin. Okay? Did everybody get that? Are you following along? Okay. All right, so now we got the definition of negative angles. Negative angles are generated by counterclockwise rotation. This is a negative angle here. Positive angles are, wait a minute. I got it backwards, didn't I? Okay, positive angles, sorry. Positive angles are generated by counterclockwise rotation. This is a positive angle, alpha. negative angles are generated by a clockwise rotation. The way your clock goes. Let's use a digital clock. Okay. Thus theta is negative. Alright. And tell me if I'm going too fast. Okay, another term you need to know. An angle is called a quadrantal angle if its terminal side lies on the x-axis or the y-axis. So, this is in standard position. It has to be in standard position. And then since this one lies on the y-axis, angle beta is quadrantal. So, if it's stopped at 90 degrees, would be quadrantal. 180 would be. This is 270. Then we also have to learn to count in pi and stuff too. All right. So all these terms, you got to know them. Okay, measuring angles using degrees. So if we use degrees, the full circle or rotation is 360 degrees. An acute angle measures less than 90. Less than 90 was from here to here. A right angle, is this even on there?
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's on like page 1 or 2.
Okay. Yeah, it's on one of the, if you didn't print out page 1, this slide is, that's it. Anyway, is it on the first page? Oh, yeah. Number 1 says acute angle, obtuse, right angle, yeah. Okay, so this is on, if you didn't print it out, it's okay, but this is acute, obtuse, right, and straight angle is 180. A right angle is 90 degrees. Obtuse is more than 90. Acute is less than 90. So here's the picture again. So yeah, so that was on day 1 material. So, okay. More than 90, obtuse is more than 90 but less than 180. Okay? Alright, and then we need to be able to measure angles. So far, maybe I should be printing out, filling in these notes a little bit. Let's see. I don't know when we're going to get to number 2. A central angle has its vertex at the center of a circle. There's 2 major ways to measure angles: degrees or radians. And degrees can be expressed in terms of decimals or degrees, minutes, and seconds. Let's see. Look, I have the slideshow. Okay, we got quadron. I don't know where. See, this slide was supposed to be. I was expecting this slide next. Oh gosh. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's see what. Okay, so we do have did we have the definition? Oh, here's the central angle. So, this was number 2 on your notes. An angle whose vertex is at the center of a circle is called a central angle. The radian measure of any central angle of a circle is the length of the intercepted arc divided by the circle's radius. So, let's show a picture here. So 1 radian is a measure of the central angle of a circle that intercepts. Here's the arc. This is an intercepted arc here. This is an arc. Equal to in length to the radius of the circle. So this is 1 radian because this distance, this curved distance, is r. So that's your picture. Radians. That's how we get radians, and that's 1 radian. Okay. And radian measure. So, if we have an arc length of S on a circle of radius r, the measure of theta in radians is the arc length, that's the intercepted arc length, divided by the radius. So that's why theta is S divided by r, and that's in radians. So all these new terms, but unless you had trig in high school or something. So theta is S divided by r, and that's in radians, not degrees. Radian measure. Do we have it? It looks like our notes are not. Is this on the first couple pages or something? Sure. Day 1, 4 quadrants, hypotenuse, simplify. No, it's not on the day 1 stuff. Oh, okay, it's coming up. Oh, we're going to go ahead, radian measure. Okay, so I need to draw some. This is the definition of radians right here. 1 radian is the measure of the central angle of a circle that intercepts an arc equal in length to the radius of the circle. And the measure of the central angle, theta, that intercepts the arc is theta equals S divided by R. And that's the arc length divided by the radius. Okay, and that was this was the picture. We've got a circle, R, 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 1 radian. Theta. Okay. Okay, let's draw some angles, and no, we're not going to use graph pictures. So we're going to draw these in standard position. So a 45-degree angle, and I did bring a protractor, so we're just going to do a quick sketch. So let's see if I have another color. So we're going to start the initial side, the initial ray is going to be on the positive x-axis. And 45 is right in the middle here. So here's, we'll call it theta, is 45 degrees. We got 90 up here. This is 90 degrees. This is 180. This is 270, and this is 360, but it's also 0 degrees. Minus 90 degrees. So we start here, and we're going to go in a clockwise direction down to negative 90. So alpha, we went in a negative direction. So that's a negative angle, and that's 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees. 225 degrees. Well, this is 90, and this is 180, and this is 270, and 225 is right in the middle here. So this is the terminal end, the initial end is here, and we draw an arrow, and this is, we'll call it theta again. That's theta. Right in the middle between 180 and 270. 405 degrees is 360 plus 45 degrees. So if we're going to draw a 405 degree angle, we need to go, we're going to start here. We're going to go all the way around the circle and then stop at 45 degrees. So this is 405 degrees. So we do draw that circle. Negative 150, well, 180 minus 150 degrees is 30 degrees. So it's going to be 30 less than 180. But it's a negative angle, so we're going to draw it. Start with our initial side, positive x-axis. It's going to be 30 less than 180. Negative 180 would be here, so it's going to be about 30 less, so it's going to be there. Oh, minus 150. Okay. That wouldn't be 180. 180 would be a straight angle. Minus 150. Did you get that? Okay. All right. So practice drawing some angles. Let's see. Back to our slideshow. So here's the next example. Number 7, a central angle theta in a circle of radius 12 feet intercepts an arc length of 42 feet. What's the radian measure of theta? So we're going to use the formula. Theta is S divided by R. They gave us S, they gave us R. The feet, make sure the units cancel, and it's in radians. So you do need to write the word radians down. So this is exactly what goes on your sheet. You want to, you have to know that S is the intercepted arc length, is 42 feet. R is 12 feet. So I'll go ahead and write this down. Theta is S over R, 42 feet divided by 12 feet. The units must cancel, so if I had something in inches, I'd have to convert to feet. And if you divide that out, you get 3.5, and it's in radians. It's important to write radians or put a degree symbol if it's in degrees. Okay? All right. So we're on the next page. Probably not gonna get. We're gonna keep going, so. All right, any questions? So it's a lot to memorize, but you gotta practice this. You gotta memorize this stuff. All right, pi radians, well, I might have a slide on it. Oh, okay. So that's the slide. Pi radians equals 180 degrees. I didn't need the little degree sign. Oh, because it says degrees. To convert degrees to radians, we multiply by pi radians over 180 degrees. Because they're equal, that's like multiplying by 1. When you convert radians to degrees, you multiply by 180 over pi radians. So I wrote that down. I didn't really need the degree symbol because it said degrees, but it'd be okay to have both. All right, you're going to need to memorize these. 360 degrees is 2 pi radians. 180 is pi radians. 90 degrees is pi over 2 radians. 45 degrees is pi over 4 radians. 60 degrees is pi over 3 radians. And 30 degrees is pi over 6. Now if you can't memorize, you're going to have these memorized by the time you do any problems, but you can also convert each of these from degrees to radians. So this is going to be 60 degrees times pi over 180 degrees. You've got to make sure the degrees cancel. And you're left with pi over 3 radians. 270 degrees. So you take 270, so times pi over 180. And then when you simplify that, you get 3 pi over 2 radians. Minus 300. Again, when you do this, you're going to get minus 5 pi over 3. You multiply by pi over 180. You can put it in your pi over, okay. This is going to be minus 300 times pi over 180. The degrees cancel. You can put that in your calculator. Minus 300. You can just put minus 300 divided by 180. Enter. Math. Enter. Is minus 5/3, and then you keep the pi. So you can use your calculator to do those fractions instead of figuring. Okay. 45 degrees is, if you work that out, is pi over 4. I filled in notes has these worked out. Minus pi over 2. But these are ones we're supposed to memorize. This is 225 times pi over 180. And that's going to give you 5 pi over 4. 405 is 9 pi over 4. And minus 150 is minus 5 pi over 6. All right, now you have to be able to go the other way too. Convert each angle in radians to degrees. So pi over 4 radians is, so we're going to do pi over 4 is in radians times, you don't want to put pi on top because that'd be radians squared over degrees. You have to put degrees. So there's 180 degrees in 1 pi. Pi equals 180 radians. Those cancel. When you simplify that, you get a 45 degrees. You do the same thing with these, you get minus 240. And here, if you have 6 radians, and we want to multiply it by 180 over pi, we're dividing by pi now, we're not going to write that as an exact answer with pi, so we put that in our calculator. 6 times 180 divide by, and pi is, I'm trying to remember what pi is.
Second carrot.
Second caret, yeah, it's hard to see it. Yeah, second caret is pi on your calculator, and keeping 3 decimal places at 3 here, 343.775 degrees. So we're going to practice some drawing our angles in pi radians here. It's approximately. Okay, so this is pi over 4. We'll stop after this page. So our initial is here. We got to go to 3 pi over 4 is pi over 4, 2 pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4 is here. Pi over 4, we just count up to 5. 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, I know that's pi over 2, but 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, and then this is 5. Not to scale, okay? Pi over 6 is 30 degrees, right? So we're going to have 7 of these, so we're going to have 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pi over 6 will be here. And if we want to do 7 pi over 3 is 60 degrees, like that, like that, that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pi over 3. So, gotta go around the circle once and stop there. I was just counting my pi over 3, about 60 degrees. And we'll stop there. And we'll start in section 14 next time. Thank you guys. Be sure to come.